This short video clearly shows a rare traffic scenario that unfolded at a highway entrance. The whole thing happened earlier this year back in August. I would assume most people would look at it as just another occurrence in which, as a driver, you have to simply slow down and let another car enter the highway. However, this situation is more complex and dangerous than it appears. Let's go through the video one more time, but at a slower speed. I changed lane that day because the car behind me was going at such a higher speed that I had to let him pass, not want to go near the 120 kilometers per hour threshold. I then switched to the right lane and stayed behind the Hyundai Tucson. We were both getting close to the highway entrance that comes right after exit 57. The following 3 points outline the critical details about the situation. Please don't forget to like the video if you find it useful. Also consider subscribing to the channel as we are only getting better and we appreciate your support. Let's get back to the video. First, there was a trailer parked right ahead of the entrance on the side of the road, but at the specific point where the driver entering the highway would need to merge into the traffic or stop completely. That's where the traffic entrance road merges into the highway. Second, the red sedan that is entering the highway traffic is going at an unusually high speed, given that he is the one entering the traffic. In my point of view, going at that speed while entering a busy highway in the morning on a weekday is careless. I learned that the hard way, but that's a story for another day. Third, access to the highway is via an uphill road, which means the driver of the car entering the traffic barely sees the broken down trailer that's parked on the hilltop, but he might think he would have more than enough time to merge into the incoming traffic before he is forced to completely slow down. What caught my attention is the timing and the quick maneuver of the driver of the Tucson ahead of me. First, he had to push his brake, switch to the left lane, and as soon as the red sedan entered the traffic, he came right back on the right lane, the driver of the red sedan being already going at a speed well over 85 kilometers per hour, kept going at an even higher speed, and the whole thing went unnoticed by the drivers of the cars behind me. As I was dissecting this video clip, I noticed one interesting detail. The white SUV Tucson didn't switch lane as soon as the red sedan got close because the car behind me was already close enough and was going at a high enough speed that the Hyundai had to wait for it to pass before crossing the line to get on the left lane. That third car was another layer of complexity to the whole situation. One good thing is that the broken down truck trailer had his hazards on. However, I don't think he was parked at the right spot. All he had to do was to park just 50 or 75 meters ahead. I have no clue what happened to his car that day, or if he had no other alternative than to stop at that potentially dangerous spot. What he also failed to do is to use a traffic orange cone in order to signal his presence to the cars entering the highway, especially since the entrance is an uphill road. I would assume, had the red sedan driver seen an orange cone on the side of the highway, he might have slowed down a little bit. Fortunately, nothing bad happened there at that moment. But if as a driver you find yourself going uphill, the advice is to slow down since you have a limited view of what's on the hilltop. Also, this can be a reminder that orange cones are very necessary in similar situations. I'd say anyone who travels on long distances should have at least one of those cones in his car. It could be just as important as a jumper cable or a battery booster or mechanical tools. You don't need those items every day, but if you have them at the time you really need them, it can make a huge difference, especially if a towing truck becomes necessary and you have to remain on the side of a road or a highway waiting for a towing truck. Please like the video and consider subscribing to the channel. Also, we would like to know your point of view in the comments section. What do you think about this particular situation? Thanks for your support.